Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Galactic Outpost. I am your host, Gojin the Makai Phantom. Joining me again is Carolee,
Hello.
and soon others will be hopping on. Just they're going to be a bit late. And here, from what you can tell by the title and thumbnail, we are going to be discussing hot takes on movies and TV shows.
I'm not the late one. Yes.
Yeah, you were actually right on time perfectly, and I'm surprised on that.
I did it.
Yeah. I'll go first on the hot takes. My first hot take is going to be something a bit more positive, and that is the live-action Attack on Titan movies are just as good as the animated series. A lot of people, this is going to make a lot of anime fans have a fucking spasm hearing that sentence, because they tend to hate these movies. But me personally, I think they are really good. Like, a lot of them will go on about, oh, why is this different? Why is Levi not here? Why did it go this way and not that way? But the changes here, first off, the one who wanted the changes in these movies was the manga creator, Hajime Isayama. Shinji Higuchi was the one who actually wanted to pay complete respect to the source material, while Hajime wanted differences, because as he stated, as he pretty much stated, that why make the movies just like the manga when the animated series already retells what the manga does. So you have that, and plus these are two movies both being under 2 hours. So it kind of makes it more digestible that they would change certain arcs, like combining Reiner and Levi into essentially one new character known as Shikishima, with a few other traits to kind of make him unique while retelling those arcs differently. As for the reasons of that being, it makes it where it's able to work more in the story of those films. And it gives it more time to develop, because you have different arcs kind of merged into one thing that makes it work more in a two-part thing. Granted, I will say that the movie still could have been a bit longer, since the reveal of the Colossal Titan kind of just happens, and there are a few other rushed aspects, but overall, I think the changes, aside from giving it a unique aspect to make them worth watching on their own, they also help the pacing, because you got the animated series that has the full time to retell that manga, while these are just movies, so I think it works in those films' favor. Plus, considering that many of Attack on Titan's inspirations are tokusatsu properties like Godzilla vs. Biollante, the 90s Gamera films, Ultraman, and definitely War of the Gargantuas, which you can all see in the animated series and how the action's done in the manga, it was destined for a tokusatsu adaptation, I think, and with the effects done on them, they are incredible, because you get the advantage of using practical effects, of them actually being there, with the polish of digital effects to kind of give more life and emotion to the suits. So you have kind of the best of both worlds there. Also, the Titans, this is probably going to really piss a lot of people off. The Titans, I actually like them better in this movie than in the animated series and manga. Like the Attack Titan, I hate that name. That's the Titan. That's the Titan. Eren is what he's called. He looks accurate to what he did in the manga, but he looks a lot more beastly, and his skin looks a bit more fucked up. While in the manga, he kind of was on his skin was a bit more human-like. And also, in the animated series, regardless of what language you're watching it in, I think the roar for the Attack Titan is a bit generic. Here, you have a new roar that's intimidating and gives me something I can associate with that Titan. In the Armored Titan, personally, I know a lot. Come on, he's a lot cooler here. Like, in the manga, he's based off of fucking Brock Lesnar, which worked, but I prefer him looking more like a fucking monster in these movies, which made him more intimidating. But overall, yeah, I think these movies are just as good as the animated series. They're not perfect, but neither is the animated series. JS Penna said, I have a question. I haven't seen the show, but why are there so many episodes in a season? Because there's a lot to adapt from the manga, that's why. It's shonen. Anyway, Carolee, you go next. What's your hot take?
Okay, so I'll just do my first one, and I accidentally deleted the notes for this movie, but I did. So my hot takes are uh, here recently. I've been watching the American Film Institute 100 Years, 100 Movies, the top 100 greatest American movies of all time, and so Jaws is number 48. And
Oh,
unfortunately, I did delete accidentally lost my notes on this movie. I have my other movie, but I don't need the notes because I know why I don't like it. Okay,
Please go into this. This is why I'm here today.
okay. Like I know I'm gonna upset some people. Don't hate me. This is just my opinion. It's number 48 on the fucking list, and I'm just like, why? Okay, so even if even if I think that at the time it came out that it would have been good, which I don't think I would have. Uh, Number one, it definitely didn't stand the test of time. Like watching it today, it sucks. Even if I watched it forever ago, though, I think it would have fucking sucked. The musical score, I didn't really feel matched the movie throughout it.
oh,
Maybe
that's a hot take.
it is. It is. Maybe the shark music that's cool, but other than that, the musical score I didn't really care for. The dialogue and just the writing I really fucking hated. The only saving grace was that even though the dialogue did suck and it had way too many cheesy, I guess, comedic effects, that was just like, you don't need that to continue the story. It wasn't even at all. You don't need that. But the only saving grace was, despite the dialogue and writing sucking, the acting was good. The acting was good. But I hate that fucking movie. Why is it number 48 on this fucking
Could you give an
list?
explanation of what scene in particular that annoyed you?
I'm sorry?
Could you give an explanation of what scene in particular that annoyed you?
All of it, the whole fucking movie. Let's see. So there's this one when he was all something when they were talking about the cooler. He's like, "Oh, we should get it like do we have a big enough cooler or something like that?" I wish I had my notes. I just watched this shit like last week or whenever it was. It's just a drag, and I hate it. The whole movie. And then, like, I mean, I don't even need like the fucking shark's teeth coming out. I don't even need to point that out, but it did happen. It did happen.
Wait, what about the shark's teeth coming out? Because sharks lose their teeth constantly.
Okay, that's cool. Not in the movies though. That shit wasn't supposed to happen.
But no, that confused me because sharks lose their teeth naturally, like often. Why does that annoy you?
Because it's like shitty props, man. That's like shitty work. It's a
Am I on?
movie. Like I just
Yes, you're on,
drags
Okay.
and the writing sucks, and we don't need shark movies. Shark movies are lame. I don't want to go to the beach and then have to think about fucking Jaws and shit, okay?
That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
So I disagree with you on Jaws. I think it's a great movie. Something I can't agree with you on is the effects weren't really good for their time. That's why even in Back to the Future, I forget which one it was, he said that when the shark was in like 3D or something, he said that shark still looks fake.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, like even when you were watching Gojira, as something you even pointed out, that the suit in Gojira and even the puppet holds up more than the shark here. That's because for the time, Gojira's effects were top notch.
Wasn't that a thing?
Huh?
Wasn't that a thing? Like in production, the shark brutes would continually malfunction and break down. Like it was a problem to film with.
Yeah, that is fair.
Mm.
Anyway, what's your hot take? What's one of your hot takes, Pharaoh?
I only have the one because I'm out and doing things. And I've been said about this a couple times. I don't like the Lord of the Rings movies. I'm bored by them.
Shut the fuck up. I'm hanging up. I'm gone.
Hey, I listened to yours.
Okay. I'll listen.
All
You
right.
better have some good reasonings.
Okay. So as a kid, I was watching these movies and I would fall asleep to them constantly. I rewatched them on my own and I would keep falling asleep. The only time I would stay awake watching them is if I was with someone else. And it hit me a couple days ago. Why? My sister likes to do Dungeons and Dragons. She does streams about it. She tells stories about her and her friends. And it hit me. Lord of the Rings is just Dungeons and Dragons. And that bores me so much. Because there's and many times there's either too many people and too many side plots. I don't care about most of them. Like in the movie's credit, it has wonderful music. The cinematography is really nice. New Zealand looks great. The actors do a phenomenal job. The action scenes, when I remember them, are fun. But I do not care about anything with them. I don't care about the political subplots going into it. I don't care so much. It feels like it takes 3 hours to get to a single space, and I'm so bored with it. And that's my thing.
They're traveling Middle Earth. Of course, it takes a while. You can't just it's not a hop and a skip. Shit has to happen. It takes a while to get there. Okay.
I don't need all the shots of them walking through New Zealand. Beautiful though they are, I don't care. I want to move on with the story. Like, I really don't. It doesn't need to be 3 hours for these things. And every time the party splits up, which basically happens, I think, almost immediately afterwards in one of their first confrontations, then that means there's 3 or 4 subplots to deal with. And I don't want to deal with all that. I don't care about that. Keep me focused on the main plots, and then I have to deal with these 4 other subplots going on. And that happens throughout the rest of the series. I'm like, I don't care about what this person's doing. I don't care about what these 2 twins are doing. They
didn't make the movies for you, okay? They made them for the people who love the books. God.
Which is also I didn't enjoy. But that's why I watched them. I didn't enjoy it. That's my hot take. Lord of the Rings is boring to me.
I haven't seen them myself, but I love Peter Jackson's King Kong. I think that film is a masterpiece. Not only one of the best remakes ever, but I think one of the best movies ever.
That doesn't even connect together.
Yeah, but both are by Peter Jackson, so I have interest in it. There's 2 different Peter Jacksons. You have Peter Jackson with I forgot what that gory film's called. Brain Dead, I think it was called. Very gory. Huh?
I don't know. I just know my thing with Lord of the Rings is that's my issue with this. I have nothing. King Kong's fine. I get bored with that sometimes. In the second half.
Heathen, a fucking heathen right there.
You're
a fucking heathen. King Kong is a masterpiece.
Oh, well, I've actually heard you go on about this before. I'm like, yeah, it's a nice movie. I'm not gung-ho about it, but I will say it is a fun movie.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. For me, I enjoy every minute of it. I think it's absolutely enjoyable. Anyway, Kaiserzilla, what's one of your hot takes?
Where'd you go?
Is it for movies? Just anything?
Movies and TV shows.
Okay. Get ready for the stakes in the fire or whatever. But 98 wouldn't be not as badly as hated if it wasn't actually a Godzilla movie.
I agree.
I mean, it wouldn't, because a lot of people do hate it for that purpose. But me personally, yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's overall a fun blockbuster that has the Independence Day-like vibe to it.
Whoa, let Kaiser say his piece. Why? What's his opinion first?
Hold on. I just don't think it's really that bad of a movie.
Okay.
And it's just only hated because it's just it's the worst take on Godzilla.
Well, for me personally, how I see Godzilla 98, I think it's a fun movie, and even as a Godzilla movie, when you look at it at the lens of it's Godzilla reimagined as a mutant animal instead of the force of nature he generally is, it works. But even when you put this thing aside, there was a lot of criticisms I have towards it, like the romance between Audrey and Nick Tatopoulos is bad. Audrey's acting sucks, but there is a lot of stuff to appreciate about it. Like, I like the Godzilla design. I like some of the changes they made. And Jean Reno as the French dude, Philippe, is awesome. He's a lot of fun, and that's not even a hot take. Even people who hate the movie love Jean Reno as Philippe, and his obsession with coffee as I grown older. I fucking relate to that shit.
Go ahead, Kaiser.
I think at best, this design would work as like a species maybe related to Godzilla, but as like an actual Godzilla, no.
Yeah,
I
I do.
agree.
I do
No,
enjoy how Godzilla 98 poked fun at it though. Like as a way to, as GMK kind of tied it in to make fun of it. Like when the Japanese people are talking about that monster that attacked New York, that was Godzilla, right? And then the guy says, "Hey, that's what the Americans say, but we have doubts." It's like, oh, you guys tied into 98 American film just to shit on it.
Japan has been known that they don't like this version, and I agree with Kaiser. If it wasn't called Godzilla, it would probably been received differently. Because when you put Godzilla onto something, you carry the weight of the Godzilla franchise with it. So as a kid, when I saw it, I thought I was going to be seeing something similar to the show version or the Heisei or the one or two Heisei movies I've seen. But instead, I saw this weird looking lizard that was killed by missiles. It's like that's not Godzilla. It was weird. If it was just a regular another monster with a different name, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have been as critical on calling it that.
I mean, it probably still wouldn't have been very well received, but it probably would have been compared to how it was when it was released.
Yeah, it probably would have been just taken as a random B-level monster movie similar to Godzilla, but not Godzilla. It might have been received better. It's like, this feels like it would be like, it's imagine Jurassic Park with Godzilla if it just didn't have the name.
JSP said Philippe is awesome. Yeah, he is. Like, even though 98 is one of the worst Godzilla films, which I still enjoy it. The only Godzilla film I think is legit garbage is Godzilla's Revenge.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Philippe is awesome. One of my favorite characters from the franchise, actually.
Godzilla's is terrible.
Okay.
I want a hot take where someone defends that. Like, and not trolling either. I want a serious hot take. I'm defending Godzilla's Revenge. Like, try it. Like, I want to hear why.
Oh, you'll hear some from the upper elitist in the community that's gonna try to see the good in it because it's essentially the show us cocksuckers you're generally gonna see. And I have no hate towards the Showa era. There's a lot of fucking good stuff from the Showa era.
I'm not talking about the show. I'm talking specifically Godzilla's Revenge.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's generally the cocksuckers who generally will give that who generally will defend that. Anyway. Did you say your piece on that? But my next hot take is Godot Crimson Moon is actually not a bad show. Like many people in the Godot community, like would say it's the worst Godot show, and I'm going to say right now, it is the worst Godot show. It is not just the worst anime Godot show from the anime universe prequels. I don't know. It's not confirmed if the animes are a prequel or just another universe, but considering they take place in vastly different eras and different parts of the world, I think that's kind of a way to separate them from the Saejima family. But regardless, it is indeed the worst Godot show, but overall, it is not a bad show. Like, I enjoyed the dynamic between Naiku and Mise, I think her name is. I forgot. But overall, what happened to Pharaoh? He'll probably be back. But overall, the dynamic between them, I thought, brought some lighthearted nature to the overall darker tone, which you'll find a lot in Garo, since Garo has a lot of horror aspects to it. So it's nice that that's consistent, that there's still that lighthearted aspect to ease up on things. And the thing with Daiku and Mise, I think her name is, the female Makai priest, brought a more kind of helps him grow as a character when he loses himself. And also, many people, this isn't going to mean a lot to people who are outside of Japan or the diehard Garo fans like me in the West. I'm almost as big as a Garo fan as I am Godzilla, so that should say how I feel about it. But getting the actor who played Daiga Saejima from Garo Makai no Hana, which is the son of Koga and the show Makai no Hana, which was the current Garo, it was nice to see him play another Garo here in the show, and he gave a performance that was different, but also similar, where you could kind of recognize it. It's overall very appreciable. Plus, the Jam Project music. Jam Project does music for Garo for years, and usually they go with power metal, since that's their genre, which I love. Savior in the Dark is incredible, but my favorite intro to this particular season of the show is the first, since it has this more unique sounding to it to kind of make it stand out. It has this more Asian, this old school Asian feel that when you're starting it, you feel like you're going back to the Sengoku era or whatever it was this takes place in. It's somewhere in the samurai days. And I also liked it, the more samurai take on the Makai Knight armor. And I dig it. Yeah, like I said, worst Garo show, but still, over Garo at his worst is still fucking good. Toku Punk Productions said, what hot takes did I miss? Me saying the Attack on Titan live-action movies are just as good as the animated series. Carolee saying Jaws is garbage. Forgottenpharoh saying the Lord of the Rings movies are garbage. And
No. Don't put words in my mouth like that. I said that I think Lord of the Rings is boring. Not garbage.
Okay.
It's well done. I am bored watching those movies.
Okay, fair enough. Kaizadzilla saying Godzilla 1998 is would be a lot more better received if it wasn't a Godzilla movie, which it probably would. Though I have actual criticisms towards the movie. A lot of people that hate on it are just like, oh, it's bad because of this. Like, you look at the film as its own, as a movie before you look at it as an adaptation. That's how I see it.
Is it okay if I ask you something real off topic real quick? It's something related to Garo, though.
Yes.
I know Hiroshi Tanahashi, one of Japan's most famous wrestlers in more recent times, played a Makai Knight. Do you know what series or movie it is?
Yeah, that was Garo. The series was Garo Makai Tales, which is essentially a anthology-like series that takes place around the different eras of Garo. Like he played one of the first Garos that wrestler did. So in that episode, he played one of the people who played the first Garos, which on that episode, Karu is kind of telling Daiga, which is the son of Koga, before he got the title of Garo in Makai no Hana, she's telling him a story of one of the first people to have the title of Garo before his dad, Koga, did, and Hiroshi Tanahashi played that incarnation. And then you have other episodes of that show that take place around Makai Senki. You have episodes that have that show that takes place around the Zero spin-offs. And you have episodes of that show that take place around the quote-unquote Ryugaverse. I say quote-unquote because, like the anime stuff, I don't know if it's another timeline or if it's another era, since they never really gave a specific date. But I do think it's a sequel since it takes place far in the future, similar to how the animes take place far in the past. So I think that's kind of a way to separate it from the Saejima family. But yeah, that's Makai Tales.
Okay.
But I don't recommend watching it until you've seen all of the Saejima stuff, the Zero spin-offs, and the Ryuga stuff, since the episodes are anthology. They take place around the different eras. It's kind of a thing for the fans. Which it worked getting Hiroshi Tanahashi, since he is a Kamen Rider fan, and Garo, one of Garo's inspirations aside from RPGs,
Hiroshi Tanahashi does Kabuto's taunt all the time when he comes out to the ring.
Yeah, and you would really like that collaboration episode, because that collaboration episode, he kind of uses his finisher as a thing. Of course, it's handled in a way where it works with the lore of the show, where it's not overly goofy. So it worked, especially since Garo is more on the dark and mature side. It's TVMA, for Christ's sake. So they had to. It's not some Scooby-Doo crossover shit. They had to find a way to make it work with lore on that. And Toku Punk Productions said about Makai no Hana, not Makai no Hana, I mean Crimson Moon. Yeah, it's underrated. It is, like I said, worst Garo. Garo at its worst is still good. I'd say the same for Godzilla, but Godzilla's Revenge is fucking garbage, so I can't say the same, unfortunately. Okay, Carolee's next hot take.
Okay, so, and my first one for the person who missed, I don't like Jaws, and it damn sure doesn't need to be 48 on the list. Okay, so again, back to the list. This was the American Film Institute, 100 Years, 100 Movies. So what they did is, for the past 100 years, whenever this list was made, which was recently, I guess, they took, and picked out 100 of the top greatest American movies. Okay, so my next take is also on this list, and it's not that I dislike it. I don't choose to watch. I watched it for this, but I would not watch it just for my own enjoyment. I don't. It's actually only ranked 78, but I don't even see why it's on the list. And it's fucking Rocky. I know, hate me now. It's such a classic, everybody says. And I mean, I guess it is in a lot of sense. But I mean, if we're going to talk about classic boxing movies, Raging Bull, which is on the list, I don't know what number, I forgot. It's better. Okay, let's just do that one. Okay, fuck this. It just drags. It's very slow. And honestly, without the subtitles, I watch subtitles and captions with everything. I'm basically fucked. Like the background, like in the settings, like the background noises are just so overpowering. Like, okay, so they're outside and cars are going by and a train's going by. Why do I need to hear that? I mean, so loud. You know what I mean? Like it's just, they could like have done something with that. I don't know. They could remaster it and like make that a little more subtle for me. I'm not a fan of Stallone anyway. And I think it was a perfect casting though, because Rocky himself self-identifies as a dumb fuck, and he is. The character is fucking a moron. And they picked a good person to play a moron, but I don't like him. And I just don't see why it got in the top 100. The musical score was decent though it is a little like elevator music at times. I do like all of the non-elevator music. So that's my other hot take is I'm not a fan of Rocky. It's not a good classical boxing movie in my opinion. And that's just that.
Okay, Toku Punk Production said in the chat, hot take, Godzilla vs. Hedorah is the worst Godzilla movie. I like Godzilla vs. Hedorah. I think there's a lot to appreciate, but that's not really a hot take, to be honest, since Godzilla vs. Hedorah is something you either love or you hate. Some people love it for its weird, artsy, almost like your high type of aspect going to it.
That movie is a drug trip. Don't try and sugarcoat it. That movie is a literal drug trip. There is the monster literally smokes a building in the movie. That movie is a literal drug trip.
Well, yeah, because the movie kind of has a take on radiation, and I swear not on radiation, the theme of the movie is about pollution, and so that's what Hedorah is. And I like that. But there's a lot of people who don't like it for that reason. So that's not. I don't know if that qualifies as a hot take. Actually, it would because Godzilla's Revenge most people say is the worst. That or 98. But yeah, so I guess that qualifies as a hot take since you either love Godzilla vs. Hedorah or you hate it. It's like Final Wars. Some love it, some fucking hate it.
Yeah,
Final Wars.
A lot of divisive in Final Wars.
Yeah, Final Wars. I love Godzilla vs. Hedorah, but Godzilla Final Wars. I don't know why so many people. I don't know why that's love it or hate it. That film's fucking amazing.
Okay. I think I thought of my second one. A movie that people have been angry at me for majority of my life.
Okay. What movie?
I don't like Titanic.
I haven't seen Titanic for myself, but I actually been wanting to see it. But go on, say the reasons.
So growing up as a kid, I remember having like this box 2 VHS set of Titanic because the movie was so long, it had to be split onto 2 VHS tapes.
Yes.
And I remember watching it, and I'm like, wow, this sucks. Because I learned to recognize VHS tapes by the box art, and as a kid, I would watch Godzilla movies or random anime or action movies. I grew up with Godzilla, the Muppets, James Bond, Star Trek. Those were things I memorized as a kid and learned to play with. So I'm like, all right, cool. Someone told me, here's a movie about a big ship that sinks. I'm like, okay, maybe something interesting. I was like, no, the movie takes forever to get to the actual thing. And I'll be honest, it is a tragedy how it happened in the real world. It is awful. And this is a good retelling of that story. Downside is I don't like love stories, and that's a me personal thing. And the whole thing about the Titanic is a romance story going into it, and I could not care any more about it. and I don't like it. And I didn't like I had to spend the entire movie dealing with a romance when I just wanted to see this one boat sink. And you know what? When the boat was sinking, it looked cool. I'm like, wow, so that's how it sank and destroyed, and all these people died. Fascinating. Kid me is like, oh, these people are dying. That's no, never mind. I see Godzilla trample thousands of people constantly. It didn't connect. I was like, wow, thousands of people died. That is horrifying. Yeah, Titanic. I don't like it. Again, great music going into it. Celine Dion is so good. I will listen to that song and start crying.
The music's amazing. I like the costumes. I like the sets. I like the costumes. I thought
I like that song too, but you guys should check out Dragon Force's cover of it, of My Heart Will Go On. It's super fucking good. I don't know how many of you know who Dragon Force is outside of me and Aaron, but they're a power metal band, and they managed to take that slow song and turn it into this fast, upbeat song, and oh my god, it works so fucking much. Like, honestly, if they did a Titanic remake, they need Dragon Force's cover. Like, it's so good. It just gets your adrenaline pumping. And that's one of the things I like about power metal. Like, power metal has a completely different vibe to it. It's more upbeat and fun.
I guess, but wait, like rewind that. Why? Like, I don't understand why Titanic would need an upbeat theme going for it when the whole plot is based around a tragedy.
That is true. That is true. Okay, Toku Punk Productions said Dragon Force is awesome, though. Damn right they are. They're one of my favorites. And Sebastian, JSP said, it's 3 hours and 14 minutes. Damn, didn't know it was that long, but it's not the first film I'd watch that length. Seven Samurai is about that length. King Kong is about that length. Lord of the Rings is about that length.
The last movie's like 4 hours or 4 or 5 long.
Another great one that's about 3 or 4 hours would be Sion Sanu's Love Exposure, which I would highly recommend that film.
Love Exposure is like 4 hours long, and I don't think I can watch it by myself, but I saw it in a group together, and that is a bonding experience.
Yeah, I loved Love Exposure. A very unique movie. It has a lot of messages, great stories, and Sion Sanu is just a genius of a filmmaker. Overall, I fucking love that film. Gotta rewatch it.
A dude's dick gets snapped in half. That happens in the movie. I'm like, what?
Yeah, and then you have Miss Scorpion. I don't know if you knew who Miss Scorpion was a reference of, but that was a reference to a Japanese exploitation movie from back in the day called Female Prisoner Convict Scorpion, and yeah, it's easy to see.
That's cool. I did not know that.
Yeah, I heard of Female Prisoner Convict Scorpion for years, and that's what it was the Miss Scorpion thing was a reference to.
Cool. Yeah, I guess it's just my thing of like I lose patience with movies when it gets beyond 3 hours unless the story is really, really set in and it's really focused on what's going on to keep me invested for that long. I lose interest over time.
I do know John Landis' son, which if you don't know who John Landis is, he's the creator of American Werewolf in London. His son Max Landis would actually says Love Exposure is the best movie ever made, which I can't argue with him on that. Like, when I watched it years ago, I had no criticisms towards it whatsoever. Overall, the movie, it makes you feel a lot of things, and I think that's absolutely incredible.
That's fair. I got time for one more before I gotta head off. So, Kaiser, what's your next point?
I don't know. I'm not. This is probably going to be mostly Godzilla stuff, but
I mean, I didn't some Godzilla stuff in here.
I mean, I didn't mind that King Ghidorah was actually a good guy in GMK. I know a lot of people hate it, but I thought it was cool.
I agree.
People hate that?
Yeah, there's a couple people who are like, "Oh, I hate that Ghidorah is weak and he's a good guy." I'm like, it's a nice twist for once that Godzilla's the overpowering villain.
Yeah,
and
really,
Ghidorah.
Cool.
Yeah. I agree with you, because here's the thing about Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, giant monsters all at attack. Like, it's by Shusuke Kaneko, the guy who did that dark-ass 90s Gamera trilogy. Which,
also really good.
Yeah, which was incredible. The Gamera was started off as this very goofy kid stuff. In
the
Then you had those 90s films that went very dark and adult-focused. But GMK, yes. That, like, having Godzilla as this very dark villain, the evil god that was brought to life by the souls of the Japanese soldiers to kind of punish Japan for forgetting about their sacrifice in the World War, was nice. And having Ghidorah work with Mothra, Baragon, and all of them as the guardian monsters was overall cool, and it wasn't done cheesy either. Like, it was more of like they're guardians. That was the point, and Godzilla was created by a bunch of evil spirits from the World War. So
and in the movie, they actually had an explanation for Ghidorah being so weak. They said Ghidorah is supposed to sprout several more heads. So this Ghidorah is essentially an infant of Yamato no Orochi, which is supposed to be way stronger over time. But it woke up early, only having 3 heads.
Exactly, and it just overall has a lot of things. I think a lot of this is why I say that a lot of people need to open their minds with media, because sometimes a change could work, and it's not like Ghidorah wasn't unrecognizable. It was a twist that made purpose, and even then, Godzilla has been bad before. He started off as bad, and often he is bad. But here, it just went with the extra mile by making him straight up evil. Like, he's not killing people unintentionally. Like, a woman screams, he looks at the people and fires his beam at them. And that type of evil nature was just incredible.
Oh, hell yeah.
He has the right eyes to make him look more menacing. Like, they did a good job making Godzilla feel like, essentially, a serial killer, killing everything and anyone in his path.
Well, he is a combination of the souls of Japanese soldiers in World War II, so technically those are he is partially human spiritually, so
I've heard some people say it's actually the original Godzilla as well.
It's the original. He's a combination of the original Godzilla, the Japanese people who lost their lives in the war, the Japanese soldiers, and all that to kind of punish current Japan for forgetting their sacrifice.
Yeah, because Japan kind of just likes to say, "Oh, we were in a war," and that's about it.
Well, yeah,
I think in actual Japan.
Well, yeah, Japan wants people to forget about that. Which GMK has 2 messages. One of them would be feminism, not that crazy shit that Professor Otaku was spewing with against Mechagodzilla, and the other would be how Japan doesn't really teach its students about about the overall stuff that happened in the World War.
Yeah.
Which is why Godzilla was, portrayed the way he was. There's 2 messages to GMK, and both of them being really good.
Yeah.
Yep. I didn't know that was a hot take. I always liked that movie. It's in like my top 5 favorite Godzilla movies.
I don't know. I just seen a lot of people say it, so I assume it was a hot take.
Oh yeah, the movie itself is a fan favorite. It's considered one of the best Godzilla movies, but Ghidorah being a good guy is something that a lot of people took issue with. But overall, the movie is considered a masterpiece amongst most.
Yeah, I didn't know that was an issue.
I think it's one of the few Godzilla movies that's actually like really fucking good to me.
I think there's many that would go up there, but yeah, it's definitely up as one of the best in my opinion. It's dark, has a lot of interesting lore going for it, and overall has one of the coolest incarnations of Godzilla. Like, I just love when stuff are portrayed to be pure evil.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, I just gotta start heading off because I'm out of my phone's dying. So have a good day, y'all.
Toodles.
Have a good day. My next take is gonna be 1 minute. Let me get the pickup.
You're hearing like shooting and screaming in the background. I'm playing Saints Row 3. Just throwing that out there.
1 minute. Oh shit. Gotta get to my next hot take. Give me a minute. Bear with me.
It gives me a minute to think more stuff. I don't know. I'm about probably beyond that.
My next hot take is Spider-Man 3 is actually a good fucking movie, and in my personal opinion, it blows the majority of the MCU out of the fucking water. And I know many of us like to meme on Tobey Maguire when he was under the influence of the symbiote, but
Gonna cry.
Yeah, but yeah, that shit was funny, but it wasn't. It was intentionally stupid. That was the whole point of it. It wasn't bad writing at all. They knew what they were doing was ridiculous, and it worked. And it didn't take away from the more serious aspects, like Peter's relationship with Norman and other serious things that would revolve around it, like the thing going on with MJ. Like, for how I see it, is the whole thing with him as under the influence of the symbiote, that was intentionally ridiculous. Like, you can't tell me they weren't intending to make Peter dance like a fucking retard as a serious aspect. No, that was comedy there. That was the point. And when it comes to the take on Venom, in my personal opinion, though I do agree that it would have been nice to have had Venom use his face more and to talk, but overall, I didn't hate how Venom was handled in the movie. Like, how he treats Peter and Brock, how he influences them is accurate to the comic, as he is very manipulative, the symbiote is. But when he goes into his more, well, Venom form, he has this more beastly-like personality where he's constantly growling and shit like that, which I personally thought was cool. Again, I prefer Venom to have this more demonic-like sounding voice where he talks and all that shit, but I thought that worked here. And when it comes to the relationship with Peter Parker and not Norman, Harry, I think I've been calling him Norman this whole time in the video. Harry, that got concluded properly, and it got concluded in the right way. Like, I know there's a lot of stuff crammed in this movie that's only like 2 hours, I think, where it should have been longer. But when it comes to the relationship with Harry and Peter, it didn't really desire anything that should have been longer than what was given. You had the proper time to create tension, time to get Harry to kind of forget everything, to give that brief bit of friendship back, and then only for it to kind of spit back in Peter's face. And then when everything is when worse comes the worst, and Harry finds out it wasn't really Peter's fault, it makes it where it creates a nice little climax where they're all working together. And the overall conclusion, it was actually heart-wrenching. Like, spoilers for Spider-Man 3, when Harry dies in Peter's arms with MJ there, I thought that scene was very emotional, and it hits me every time personally. And overall, it was just a very good thing that I personally enjoyed. Spider-Man 3, and when it comes to the jokes of Spider-Man 3, another reason why I prefer it over the MCU, a lot of jokes in the MCU, it feels like the writers are like, oh, we gotta get comedy, and 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 please laugh. But while here, none of the jokes felt that way. The humor felt more natural. It was absurd, but that's why it was good. While in the MCU, the jokes are usually hit and miss, and most people would agree with me on that, as that's kind of well known with modern Marvel films, that they often will force in humor just for the sake of it, which sometimes it is funny, other times it is not. Spider-Man 3, the humor did not feel forced. So that's another reason why I kind of prefer Spider-Man 3 over the majority of MCU films. Okay, Carolee, what's your next hot take?
So I'm gonna piss off like every basic bitch from my generation. I don't like Friends. It's not relatable. It's not fucking funny. I hate it. I don't like the characters. I think most of the acting and just the plots and the stories are stupid. And most of all, it's not funny and it's not relatable. And I don't it's not even realistic. Like, none of those people, none of them could afford that lifestyle. Like, they would have to, I don't get it. I mean, maybe, but then they don't even really get into too much of it. And then it's like, I really hate that fucking show. And I don't understand why it's so hyped up. I don't understand why so many people from my generation are like, Friends, it's so funny. And then the song comes on and they're doing, I hate it.
When it comes to Friends, when I was a kid, I watched it and I loved it as a kid, but here's the thing. When you're a kid, your brain's mushy. I used to think Dino Croc, a lot of Sci-Fi Channel movies, the 1999 Young Gary, which if you look that film up right fucking now, and you'll see how much of a piece of shit Young Gary is. I used to think that shit was high art when I was a kid, and growing up, what the fuck was wrong with me? Like, I'm gonna say right now, a lot of the time with sitcoms, a lot of the humor is forced. As a kid, I laughed at sitcoms, even the stupidest shit like Big Time Rush, which looking back at it, ugh. But
it's terrible. But these people, their fan base remains solid. There are people out there who still or like, oh, Friends, and like that, like fucking Friends merchandise. Like, I hate it. It's just, it was not good. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it.
JS Penna said, Carolee, you're the second person I know that hates Friends. I know a few people who hate Friends, but yeah, she's definitely in the minority here, as generally people look back at it fondly. I liked it as a kid, but like I said, you can't trust kids' opinion on anything. They're fucking kids. Kids are fucking stupid, okay? So they can't really judge stuff. And looking back on Friends, though, I do kind of have a soft spot for the opening theme. I think it's catchy, which is weird. I can go to listening to something like death metal, like shit, like a Cannibal Corpse theme, like stripped, raped, and strangled, and didn't listen to something like that. I have a diverse taste in music, but the overall show itself, Jennifer Aniston is hot. I'll give it that. But overall, the show, it doesn't look that good. I might rewatch it at some point, but no. Oh, you made me think of another hot take of something in the 90s I'm going to get into, but first I'm going to let Kaiser go on about his next hot take.
Shit. I gotta think of this for a minute. Okay, this isn't exactly a TV show stuff, but I don't get why they got rid of the Star Wars EU and why so many people, there's a lot of people that says it's junk and then glad they got rid of it. I'm like, why do they always take stuff from the EU into the Disney canon?
I have no idea, but like clearly they say, oh, we don't have any source material, they go on and say, but they do, and they often take from it. Like Raven's fucking Kylo Ren's design is fucking Diet Darth Raven. That's what it is.
It's Revan, you heathen.
Yeah, the design is fucking Darth Robin. It's a wannabe Robin. That's what it is. And you have
Revan.
Revan, whatever. Whatever. I still gotta play that game, Knights of the Old Republic. I've been playing the older ones, like Republic Commando, Battlefront, and all that shit. That's one I still gotta play.
I mean, you could either get it on your Xbox or you can get it on Steam. You got a computer powerful enough to probably play it.
I'm getting it on the Xbox. You know how I feel about physical copies. I'm a physical guy.
It depends for me.
I only grabbed Final Fantasy 14 on digital because the physical copy of that game is a clusterfuck to get a hold of these days.
Yeah.
JS Penna said, I have hot takes. Can I join? Sure. Oh, shit, you've been asking that a lot in the chat. I just noticed. Yeah, I guess you could join. I did send a lot of other people the links. But the thing is, they tend to, they didn't join, and it was generally, and essentially, the other people that I sent the link to, the chat room, they didn't get the time, which was going to lead up to, kinda filling the limit of everything.
Also, I'm going to take a jab at a lot of Disney fans here, but I see a lot of them sit there say, oh, this EU is junk, and I'm sitting here like, have you even read any of it, or are you just saying that because it's the thing for Disney people to say?
Yeah, that is kind of the case, and JS, I sent you the link. But when it comes to, what else? Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much. I'll try to see if I can think of another thing or two while you're...
My next hot take, oh boy, this is gonna piss off so much 90s kids, but I don't give a shit. This is what... I'm gonna go on two things in one, because I hate both of this shit equally. Goosebumps and Are You Afraid of the Dark can go fuck themselves. I hate those shows. I hated them since I was a little kid. Everything about the shows are absolute dog shit. Some of the worst I have seen out of any piece of media. The special effects.
You had to have been there, Joey. You had to have been there. Okay? That's what we had. That's what we had.
I remember like a decade ago, Cartoon Network started like around October would start putting them on the air or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know what. I hate Goosebumps and I hate Are You Afraid of the Dark. The stories to both, none of them are good. The dialogue's cringe. If I remember correctly, one of the stories in Are You Afraid of the Dark or some shit, I think they used like a peanut butter sandwich as the weapon, I think. That was stupid as hell. The jokes, I mean, there's no jokes. I mean, the scares are unintentionally funny. The special effects look like shit you could buy off of a Halloween store. Shit, the effects in the original Ultraman show.
You had to have been there.
I don't know,
all
man.
we had as little kids, okay? when our
I don't know.
parents censored things and that's all we had.
What was the one that one girl wear the mask and it kind of made her act like a werewolf?
I know what episode you're talking about, but I can't remember what it was called.
That part at the end where all the masks start chasing, that shit freaked me the fuck out.
Oh yeah, the haunted mask. Yeah, that episode's credit when credit's due was okay. Like I kind of like the guy who had the mask. He was actually a decent actor compared to everyone else. But the acting for everyone was dog shit. Like they had this very sarcastic tone going to their voice, which I know wasn't the intention. The special effects, like I said, look like you bought them from a Halloween store. Like the effects in the Ultraman show from 1966, those were great for the 60s, but these days are dated as all hell. But when you compare it to this, like even the effects in the original Ultraman show stand the test of time a lot more than this hunk of crap ever could. I don't even like the opening theme to Goosebumps. Many people use it as background music or some shit. I hated it ever since I was a little kid. Like you said in the dark, only thing I can give it credit is you do have some recurring characters that tell the story. That is a unique concept. But overall, it's still dog shit. Oh, and also in its credit, there was a few things in Are You Afraid of Dark? A few effects, most of them look like shit that aren't bad. Like that one thing in the pool. That looked pretty impressive for a TV show from that time.
Yeah.
Detailed, kind of creepy. But most of the effects...
Yeah.
That shit gave me AIDS. I don't know. I just hate both of these shows. They've been some of my most hated pieces of art since I was a little kid. I'd rather watch a fucking Full Moon movie. I'd rather fucking get ass fucked by Kaiserzilla. I hate that shit.
Okay, chill out there, buddy.
All right. I have one thing to say and one thing only.
Okay.
You have good criticisms, but screw you. That theme is awesome. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. Slappy made me afraid to go to sleep at night.
I hate Slappy. I like he's a wannabe Chucky. Like if they should have since they were so blatantly ripping off Chucky, they should have called this fucker Cucky. That's what they should have called him. And they ripped off the Bride of actually no, I think it was prior to the Bride of Chucky, but holy shit, it sucked. And I just really cannot say. He's not scary. His jokes ain't funny. And the only thing I remember from him is this shit going, I want my bride! And that shit was a cringe. I only remember it because it was cringy. I hated that shit. He's a pedophile too, because I remember correctly, he wanted to marry the little fucking girl.
Wait, what?
Wait, what? Okay.
Hold up. I heard he wanted to take her family and make them slaves, but
if I remember correctly, he wanted to marry the little... It's been years since I watched this piece of crap, but if I remember correctly, he did.
It's been years for me too, but I can remember.
Jeez.
Another reason why I hate these so much is I kind of grew up with my family watching this shit, and I hated it ever since. And I wasn't scared of it or anything. Like, I was fine with scary movies. This shit wasn't scary. I just despised it with a burning-ass passion, even when I was growing up. And nowadays, it's like, get that shit out of my face! Okay.
All right, I have my last little take, and then I have to go. Okay.
Okay,
right.
sis.
My last hot take, and it's just really short and sweet and to the point. Reality TV in general, all that pseudo celebrity bullshit that paved its way into like I don't know all this influencer social media crap. I hate it. All reality. I'm talking about fucking Duck Dynasty. Nobody gives a fuck. Okay,
Well,
keeping
Duck
up with
Dynasty is
Kardashians.
trash.
I don't give two shits. Okay. Fucking Real Housewives, bitch, you are not a real fucking housewife, okay? Real Housewives don't have nannies, they don't have chefs, and you know what I mean? That's not a housewife. You're a trophy. That's all you are. You are a fucking trophy. I hate all of that shit. All that fucking pseudo celebrity fucking bullshit. Nobody gives a fuck. How are they fucking making money? Who's watching this shit? I hate it.
Yeah, a lot
Everyone hates that.
Yeah, a reality show.
Obviously not, because these motherfuckers are making money. They got like 20-some seasons of Keeping Up with Kardashians because motherfuckers is out there watching it.
I can't
Yeah.
believe that shit got big. A lot of reality shows suck. Like, like if I'm wanting to see somewhat realistic people evolving around real people, I go to fucking YouTube. Because here's the thing, in a lot of reality shows, it's often filtered garbage that's just not enjoyable. I do like watching this one YouTuber called Cyrus take a look at reality show episodes and make fun of them. But that's because I love commentary channels. But the reality shows themselves, no, I don't like that shit. It's very unsettled. It's not enjoyable. It's just boring. And I know they make some of these changes to be entertaining, but here's the problem. It's not entertaining. That's the issue.
Yeah, I follow this channel as well called Poor Choices. And I asked them on a live stream, why do you watch this crap? And they said they take enjoyment from it and that they like looking at people with worse lives than theirs.
I mean, that's fair. Like, if you need some, like, if you live a sad fucking life and you need to look at other people, be like, hey, just know that you might be a fucking loser, but you're not these people at least.
Yeah.
Toku Punk Productions said, "Are You Afraid of the Dark" was better in my opinion.
It was.
Maybe like at least unlike Goosebumps, there were some effects that were okay. But for the most part, yeah, I hate both, but I guess that's fair. Matt, the heavy metal mecha pilot said, anyone who wants to know my hot takes, Disney from the 90s has always sucked. Only good thing from Disney was Gargoyles, and even then, Disney wants to sweep it under the rug. I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of Disney, so I can't argue with that. But I do like some of Disney stuff. Like, I like Mulan, I like The Lion King, and I do like some other stuff from them. But yeah, I'm not this massive Disney fan, and I kind of don't see why they're as popular as they are. I'm not even a fan of them before the 90s, to be honest. Like, I'm not huge on Disney. Like, there's things I like from Disney, clearly there is, but I'm not huge on it. Okay, Kaiser, you got anything?
Shit. I like the 62 King Kong. I think most people probably hate that.
Oh yeah, 62 King Kong is awesome. Like, sure, he is super fucking dated, but the thing about him, he has this charm going. Like, here's the thing when it comes to his design. A lot of people fail to realize that the whole point of it is Toho wanted him to look, I mean, not Toho, the people who made Kong wanted him to look different than theirs. So what they did, instead of basing him off of a gorilla, Toho based him off another ape, which I forgot which ape it was, but that's why he looks the way he does. And overall, I think...
And he acts like he's shit-faced all the time. It's fucking
overall,
hilarious.
Like, the suit is heavily dated, don't get me wrong, but...
it looks bad even now, but it's a really funny bad, though.
I don't think it's particularly bad. More of, like, there's points where it looks bad, like where his arms are weirdly proportioned, but overall, like, at some angles, like, for what the design's based off of, like, I forgot, it was another ape. I'm sure you can get looking at him which ape I'm talking about. I just can't remember the fucking name. But overall, I think it worked for that Kong.
Not to mention, like, the whole plot point of getting him off the island was literally getting him drunk on berry juice and then the native singing.
Yeah.
That's such a fucking hilarious.
Y'all, Aaron, everybody, I'm out of here, y'all.
Doodle.
All right.
I will give you a link, so like when you go to update it later, in case anybody wants to check out the American Film Institute 100 Years, 100 Movies. I'm gonna pin you that link and you can put it in the description.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Everybody have a good day.
You too.
Have a good one. My next hot take is A Christmas Story is not a good movie.
Ugh.
Okay. 1 minute. Christmas Story. And I'll go into why soon. Just give me a minute. Gotta get the picture up.
I think you're the only person I know that has that hot take.
Yeah, here's the thing. It's not I don't hate A Christmas Story. It's not an abomination. There's things I like about it, like the father. He's harsh, but he's also funny. And when it comes to his harsh nature, that also makes it where he's a more caring and loving dad. That makes it all the more impactful when he's on, where it's extra heartwarming. But aside from that, why is this not a good movie? For example, those stupid ass fantasies, you could have removed them from the film. It wouldn't be any fucking different than what we have now. It's cringeworthy. It's not funny. They're weird. I'd rather smoke a fucking joint with my asshole than watch them. And that's what it feels. Actually, no, that's what it feels like when I'm watching the film. That's exactly what it feels like. It makes no sense. It's filler. The acting on the scenes are just dog shit. Like one of them, he for some reason has this fantasy where he goes blind, and his parents are going, oh, with that type of performance. That's literally the performance. I'm not exaggerating. It was fucking bad. And other random shit, like a bunch of witches showing up going, you shoot your eye out! Like, I don't get the reason for that. like, you could have removed that shit from the movie and it would have been better, because not only does it add very little to add almost nothing to the plot, it's cringy, it's not funny, I don't see the purpose of it. I know some people see it as experimental, but I don't really care, okay? I don't give a fuck that it's experimental. The point is, it's worthless, and it really would have been better off without it. And
no, keep fit. I'll say it whenever you're done.
And overall, it's just not like, if I was to describe it, the movie is as average as they come. There's things I like about it, things I don't like about it, and things I'm kind of in the middle on. It's a very mixed bag of a movie that I don't see how it gotten so popular. Like, it was very underground at first, according to the Nostalgia Critic, but then it ended up getting huge, and I just don't get why. Like, it's original, but here's the thing, original doesn't equal good.
Yeah.
Okay, I know you already got that stuff you said about Halloween to me.
Yeah.
You go ahead and say it.
Huh?
What were you saying about the original Halloween? You thought it's really overrated and not that good?
The overall original Halloween, I haven't watched it in a while, so I can't go too in depth, but what I will say is, when it comes to the original Halloween, is the acting with everyone aside from Donald Pleasance is not good. Jamie Lee Curtis is overly whiny. The friends, they just don't seem that into it. Like, literally, the friend on one scene gives a performance like this, my dad! Like, there's no heart put into it. Nobody seems to actually believe they're in the situation that they are in. Meanwhile, in Alien, the actors were actually fucking scared when the chestburster came out, so it came off as convincing. You don't get any of that energy here.
Well, to be fair, that was improvised, and and they didn't really know about it. At least one of the actresses didn't know.
Yeah, that is true. But when it comes to here, nobody actually seemed into it. Even people who love it, like Chris Stuckman, will generally tell you that Jamie Lee Curtis and a lot of the others are not good in the movie.
Yeah.
And when it just when it comes to the music is overall actually repetitive too. Like, don't get me wrong, John Carpenter's score for the movie is incredible. It has a lot of it has a lot of tension going for it. It's unique, and it makes Michael Myers more of a threat, especially when he's walking down the stairs on that one scene. But but the thing is, yeah, but the thing is, it's used so much. There's very lack of variety. Like, go and turn on a Godzilla movie, and you get a lot of variety when it comes to Akira Ifukube's scores. Like, you get a track on this scene, a track on this scene. Like, here, you get very few, very lacking in variety. It's a great soundtrack, but it's a repetitive soundtrack. And the characters are pretty much, you don't give a shit about any of them. Like, the only one that you like is Donald Pleasance as what's his name, Dr. Loomis, because
Dr. Loomis.
He's mysterious. You could tell he's been through hell that made him crazy like he is for Michael Myers. And Donald Pleasance puts a lot into that performance to make you believe that this man is out of his mind, but means well.
Yeah. So
I was kind of mind blown that Donald Pleasance played Blofeld from the James Bond movies, which
so was I.
Yeah.
So you agree with Decker Shadow then?
Yeah, Decker Shadow felt the movie is overrated too.
Wait, so whose turn is it now? Is it Kaiser or mine?
Yeah, Kaiser, since he was here first. But first, let me look at the chat. Toku Punk Productions said the Dark Knight trilogy is overrated. Oh, I don't agree with that. I think it's incredible.
Okay, I'm on the hair. I want to hear why.
Toku.
If we could get this guy on here, do it. I want to hear this.
Yeah, if you want to come on, Toku Punk, I'll send you a message to the link. Okay.
Okay, so what are you saying, Kaiser?
I don't know. I'm kind of running out of stuff here. I'm just randomly picking up stuff at this point. I'm trying to think of something here. I kind of jumped on the last minute, so that's why I'm kind of trying.
Tokupunk, I'm sending you the link to the stream if you'd be interested to talk about that take, since Kaitherzilla wants to hear the reasons.
Yes, I legit want to hear this.
It's gonna be fun.
But before then, Mad Matt said another hot take: Gunhead is peak tokusatsu film. Yeah, I said it. I love the storytelling and world building and cyberpunk visuals, and of course the mecha designs as well. I haven't seen Gunhead. I want to. It looks like a lot of fun, but I don't know if I would put it up as peak tokusatsu. But it definitely looks like.
I guess. Okay, I'm just reaching here, but I would sooner watch Mazinger than Gundam.
Yes.
I don't know. I know Gundam is generally the main stuff of mecha, but I don't know. I just prefer the style of Mazinger more.
I haven't seen either, so I got nothing.
It's kind of hard to find all that stuff. Well, maybe not for Gundam, but for Mazinger, yeah, it kind of is. I just like how violent it is compared to Gundam.
Well,
and how over the top it is. And that opening for the Shin Mazinger, oh my god.
I'll be honest, I'm not a massive fan of either, but yeah, if I was to say I like one more than the other, I probably do prefer Mazinger over Gundam, because I'm going to say right now, I do think Gundam's overrated. I can't really go into why, since it's been a while since I watched 009 or whatever the fuck it's called and the others. But when I watched it then, I remember thinking, this is kind of overrated. Like, I liked it, but I didn't love it. And I kind of failed to see why it got in as huge as it did.
It's probably the political stuff about it. Characters. I don't know.
Mad Matt, the heavy metal with mecha pilot, said the Gamera trilogy is also very good too. That's not really a hot take though.
Yeah.
Many people actually hold those films as high art up there with Gogeta, and I do too. I
mean, I guess if you want a hot take, a lot of people don't think Revenge of Iris is that good. There's a couple people I can say that.
A lot of people say Revenge of Edis is the best.
Yeah, that's what I've been hearing as well. I mean, I don't.
I've heard quite a few people say they think Attack on Legion.
I hear the favorite Heisei film difference. Like, I see some people say Guardian of the Universe is the best. Some people say Attack of Legion's the best. Some people say Revenge of Edis is the best. Like, it very much depends on the person. So I can't really call it a hot take, to be honest.
So is Pug Totatsu or whatever his name is he actually going to join her now?
I don't know. I sent Toku Punk Production the invite to the link. I don't know. Okay, well,
I actually prefer Attack of Legion over Revenge of Iris or Edis, whatever.
I love both, to be honest.
I never heard anyone call it Iris, but then again, I've heard people call like Belial or whatever. I think that's what they call him in Ultraman.
Yeah, it's Japanese pronunciation.
I thought. Yeah, I was calling it by the Japanese pronunciation. I'll just stop talking. What am I saying? God dang it.
Okay.
It's like with people calling Caesar Caesar or whatever. I think that's how you're actually supposed to say it, is Caesar.
By the way,
Caesar or Caesar?
I have heard it called Caesar or Caesar, and apparently Caesar is I think the way the Romans actually said it.
Okay.
When it be JSP's pay, did you finish what you were saying, Kaiser?
Yeah, I just prefer Mazinger Z more. I just like how over the top it is. Music, just how violent it is. Yeah.
What's your next take,
JS? All right, quick question. Does Mazinger fight kaiju, or what's the deal?
Kind of, sort of. Maybe like, it's been a long time since I watched it, but he does kind of like fight like other robots, kaiju stuff, yeah.
Ah, okay.
I was going to say robot like kaiju stuff, we'll say that.
You okay, Kaiser?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. What's your next hot take, JS?
Well, I wanted to say this when Carolee was around, because I've said it before. I personally, I have to agree with this. Let me figure out a way to phrase this. I hate autism. Anyway. I personally think Event Horizon is overrated, and I've rewatched it recently, and I still have the same thoughts. I mean, I get why people like it, I do, but I don't know, I guess it's just not for me. And given how I found out it's directed by the guy who did the Resident Evil films, kind of explains a lot.
I actually like the Resident Evil movies. They're not great, but I enjoyed them.
I mean, hell, I was surprised when Critical Drinker said gave this movie a recommendation.
Toku Punk Production said his Discord got logged out a long time ago, so that's why Kaiser.
I actually
Well,
wanted to see him fight Kaiser.
Shit, oh well.
Okay, so look, I get why people like this movie. The creepy atmosphere and
Hey, Toku, if you are hearing this, just type it. Don't like type a long paragraph, but just summarize it as best you can. Keep it short and sweet. That way, at least we hear why. Sorry, Sebastian, go on ahead.
anyway, as I was saying, I get why people like this movie. The creepy atmosphere, the plot, and like not that the characters aren't really dumb per se. Like as soon as they spoiler alert for those of you who haven't seen it, when they see that video of what happened to the crew, they said, "Fuck this shit, I'm out." But unfortunately, the ship won't let them leave, and I do think that is good. And another thing I do have to say, I think some of the acting is, well, some of it is stiff and some of it is, well, bad. Like like that that part where Sam Neill is dreaming and he sees his wife and he goes, "Oh, who screams like that?" Seriously.
Yeah, I haven't seen Event Horizon myself, but
That sounds goofy.
I think all I seen about Event Horizon was Nostalgia Critic's review. I don't think he was big on it.
Yeah, I have to agree with him on that. I also heard that there is a director's cut. Well, there was. It unfortunately it's now been destroyed
Oof.
because the film footage had okay, come on, you can do this. Anyway, the film has decayed a little bit and so it's been lost. And what else? I also think that I had something else. God dang it.
Something else to say about Event Horizon?
Yeah, that. I don't look, overall, I don't think this is a terrible movie. I just think it's the most overrated, underrated horror movie of all time.
Yeah, fair enough. Mad Matt, the heavy metal mecha pilot, said another thing that's a bit overrated, and Joey may kill me for this. Evangelion. Evangelion is not awful at all, but not my cup of tea, to be honest. Like, give me Get a Robo Armageddon any day, baby. That's fine. I love Evangelion, but some of the I think Evangelion is a masterpiece, but I will say some of the fans are fucking obnoxious as they refuse to acknowledge its inspiration. It has inspirations, and those inspirations are being Godzilla, especially Ultraman, also Get a Robo and Space Runaway Ideon. But I think Ultraman is where it shows most, and that's one of the things that's one of the things I love about Evangelion. But a lot of the fanboys of Evangelion is like, oh, everything was completely new to this, and yeah, Eva took those inspirations and made something new out of it, but they're still there, and that's one of the things why I love about Eva, because I'm a fan of those.
Didn't the creator of Evangelion direct or no, was he the creator or the director? He directed Shin Godzilla?
Yeah, he directed Shin.
Yeah, he directed Shin Godzilla. He's directing Shin Ultraman and the upcoming Shin Kamen Rider, not to be confused with the 90s Shin Kamen Rider. And he also played in an episode of Ultraman Jack. But yeah, Ano is a massive nerd for that type of stuff. He even has this big collection of Ultraman and all that.
All right.
Toku Punk Production said, I don't hate the Dark Knight films. I just thought aside from The Dark Knight, the other films are a bit overhyped. Batman Begins is good, but I really hated Dark Knight Rises. Fair enough. I thought the entire trilogy was great, but this is a hot take stream, so
I've been hearing that a lot of people haven't been liking Dark Knight Rises lately. I mean, how they liked it before, but when they rewatched it, they were like, man, there's a lot of dumb shit in this movie, but I think it's good. I mean, a bit overly long, but I think it's good.
I love it. I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Anyways, at the end of your thoughts on Event Horizon?
I thought I had more, but no, I think that's it. I should probably stop.
Okay. So my next hot take, what would be my next hot? I know. Let me check my notes. Because I took it. Oh wait, I know what it is. We're going for another dumpster fire here that a lot of people from the 80s is gonna fucking have a spasm when they hear about this. But the original Friday the 13th is fucking garbage, and I'm gonna say why. First
I'm
off,
not gonna fight you on that.
Yeah, first off, when it comes to the original Friday the 13th, and I'm talking about the original here.
Yeah.
I love the stuff with Jason Voorhees, but not only is it a generic slasher, and I'm not gonna be like, oh, Friday the 13th just takes from Halloween. If anything, I'd say it takes a lot more from Black Christmas, while when Jason came in, it was more of a Halloween knockoff. While this here, from how the killer, you see from their point of view, and how the kills are done, the atmosphere is more inspired from Black Christmas. But why is it a bad movie? First of all, you have the typical generic and boring ass characters you get in later films, the same dull acting that's unconvincing. And overall, if I remember correctly, there's no real kill in this one that stands out. And it has all the worst stuff of Friday the 13th without the fun aspects that you got later. And when it comes to the mystery on who the killer is, which the film wants to have this mystery on, oh, who is the killer? Who is the killer? But here's the thing: when Pamela Voorhees is revealed, she does. Of course, you're not gonna predict her because she doesn't exist until that point of the movie. And when it comes to the overall part where they kill the snake, that part pissed me off because they literally killed a real fucking snake on that movie. That is real.
What?
And yeah, that snake they killed an actual fucking snake for that scene, and that pisses me the fuck off because they did not have to do that. Say what you want about the dated part of King Kong versus Godzilla, where Kong is fighting fighting Odaku, or Frankenstein conquers the world, where Odaku shows up. At least they were able to make art out of it by using effects that are now dated to make the scene come to life. Here, not only are they fucking lazy, they were cruel and killed an innocent snake for no reason other than because they didn't want to make a special effect.
I have to disagree about some of those kills that stand out. I actually think when Kevin Bacon dies kind of stands out to me, and when Pamela dies, but that's it.
Okay, I guess those are good. Those are good. But when it comes to the acting and characters, those are the same bland shit of just there to die, what you usually get in later entries. The plot twist is garbage, and the killing of the snake was completely unnecessary.
Yeah. Speaking of killing of the snake, I heard that in King Kong versus Godzilla, one of the special effects guys actually ate one of the octopi.
Yeah.
Well, here's the difference. They killed that octopus for food, and they didn't do it on screen. So there's nothing wrong with it. Like, people kill for food all the time. And, like, that's fine by me. They didn't hurt it on the screen. I didn't have to see it get harmed. And also, they were doing it for the sake of a meal. So I can't really fault it for that. Here, they literally just killed a snake for no fucking reason, and they did it on screen.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. I didn't want to.
Like, people might call me a hypocrite because I think Old Boy's a masterpiece and the guy literally eats a squid on screen. But here's the thing: he's eating the squid. People do that in real life, and the guy's still getting a meal out of it, even though he was a fucking vegetarian. So really, can't fault it because someone was gonna eat that squid.
Yep.
Okay, Kaiser, what's your next hot take?
I don't even know if this is a hot take, but you know the movie Legends?
I heard of it.
I was kind of bored, honestly, watching it, looking back until Darkness came on the screen. Then I was interested for the rest of the movie, because I don't know.
With Tom Cruise?
Legends, yes. The guy is the Lord of Darkness, and I keep forgetting his name.
Oh, so wrong Legend, Joey.
Tom Hardy? Oh, okay, so wrong Legend.
Tom
Which one?
Cruise.
Which
the
one?
With Tom Cruise and Tim Curry.
Yeah, it was when Tim Curry came out as Darkness, or the Lord of Darkness. They just call him either one of those things, or Satan, if you want to even call him that. I mean, he basically is.
No, I just wanted to say it like that. I wasn't questioning you.
I just did not care for that movie. I just thought it was kind of boring until Satan, or the Lord of Darkness, came out. Then I was like, okay, yeah, this has my attention now, because I just thought he was just so fucking good.
Yeah, and the effects on him are incredible. Like, I haven't seen the full movie for myself, but just seeing GIFs and short clips of it, it's like, man, those are some really good effects right there.
I don't even know if that's a hot take. I'm just saying.
That's a hot take. That's a hot take. A lot of people love that fucking movie.
I don't really know if it is, because I've heard someone on the Nostalgia Critics team say they didn't they didn't like this movie.
Well, here's the thing. There's always someone out there who's not going to like something, but that doesn't speak for the majority of people. Like, you're going to hear people out there that say Citizen Kane sucks, and you're going to come across a few, but they are the minority there. And I haven't seen Citizen Kane for myself, but the majority are going to say Citizen Kane is a masterpiece.
True.
Toku Punk Productions said Legends is okay. Fair enough. What's JSP's next hot take?
Oh crap! I had one.
Oof.
All right. I just remembered this one, and some will agree with me, and some probably won't. But I personally think Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom is a better Last Jedi than The Last Jedi.
That's not an unpopular take. Like, a lot of people hate The Last Jedi, and when it comes to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, I'd say it's probably a love it or hate it movie, but I think The Last Jedi is, though, it's just a very hated film overall. Like, I don't see people shitting on Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom to the extent I see individuals shitting on The Last Jedi.
Now, why do I think this, you may ask?
Isn't there a YouTube channel that literally got big because they kept shitting on The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I think so.
Geeks and Gamers?
Geeks and Gamers.
I hate Geeks and Gamers. Like, The Last Jedi isn't a good movie, but fuck Geeks and Gamers.
Yeah, it seems like he's... that Halo video of him where he was reacting to the trailer. I'm not going to sit here and say this TV show is good or bad, but his reaction was kind of bad.
Well, yeah, and he came off as crazy. Like, whenever a woman was shoving, like, I get it, SJWs fucking suck, but not everything is woke, dude.
That's not what I heard about the show, but anyway, as I was saying, why do I think this? So here's why. Although the film is, well, a mess, at least it didn't screw up the original characters. For example, you know how the sequel trilogy screwed up Han, Luke, and Leia?
Yeah.
From what I've heard from this YouTuber Clayton God dang it. I can never say that last name right. Anyway, there's this YouTuber named Clayton, and he gave he made a video on the original script of Fallen Kingdom. And if you thought Fallen Kingdom completely ripped off, if you thought Fallen Kingdom was a ripoff of Lost World, the original script did it completely, but they really fucked up a major character. In the original script, Ian Malcolm becomes a terrorist and tries to stop the dinosaur from reaching the mainland, but they escape anyway, and attack the mainland anyway. And as so they decide to change it, and while what we got was a mess, I'd say it's a improvement on what we were originally going to get. Although I don't know, I don't get why Henry Wu turned evil. That I do find yeah, that's basically all I got. And hopefully Dominion is at least watchable.
Mad Matt, the heavy metal guy, said, I hate The Last Jedi, but I'm a bit indifferent to Geeks and Gamers. Oh yeah, I don't like The Last Jedi. I'd say I don't hate The Last Jedi aside from its awful fans, but it's not a good movie. I don't necessarily like it either. There's a lot of cringy shit to it. The script's a mess. It's not a good movie. And overall, I don't like the film. But Geeks and Gamers is fucking obsessed with that film. And it's like, dude, it's been years. Find something else.
It's going to be 5 years since that movie comes out. Like, dude, just stop now.
Yeah.
They have been stopping.
Yeah, not everything is the fucking Last Jedi, okay? And Mad Matt, the heavy metal guy, the heavy metal mecha pilot, also said, I do like It's a Gundam, though. That dude is legit funny, like a good combination of Bill Hicks.
He's funny.
George Carlin and a bit of Sam Kinison too. Oh yeah, I love It's a Gundam. Like, essentially, for those who don't know, I love commentary channels like Leafy is here, Griffin Gaming, amongst other things, and he kind of falls into that type of category. So yeah, It's a Gundam's awesome. I love It's a Gundam.
Yeah,
I don't agree with, huh?
yeah. He was on Friday Night Tides with Nerdrotic, and I actually didn't know he was a musician. And I
I
said,
did. I heard some of his songs too. Dude's got talent.
yeah, I heard one of his songs. And I said, dude, why haven't you made this public? Oh, and God, what were you saying, Kaiser? I'm sorry.
About what?
I don't know. I heard you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say something, but I guess I was wrong.
I might. If I did, I completely forgot. It happens.
Koku Punk Productions also said, hot take, not every time Ben Shapiro says a movie is bad means it's a good movie. Well, yeah, like, yeah, not everything he says is bad means it's a good movie. I don't know where that conception came from. Though when it comes to GVK, I disagree. GVK has a lot of problems, and Isa Gonzalez, I believe her name is, she revealed that there's going to be a lot more to her character and others, and it fucking breaks my heart that it turns out that they removed all that shit for Godzilla and Kong. Like,
Yeah,
They could have set up for like the next big villain in the MonsterVerse, and then they just shot her down.
yeah. I
Okay.
just read
that
the
shit
article
pisses-
about that this morning.
Like, that shit pisses me off because the movie was gonna be a lot. You could have still had all that shit with Godzilla and Kong while having more aspects of the characters. It would have just been longer, and that's okay. I would have liked it if it was longer. Like, I still love GVK. I think it's a great movie, but man, why? Why did you cut that shit out? Make it a longer movie, or at the very least, give a fucking extended cut to make it a better movie. But
Because
no,
Warner
Wingard
Brothers
doesn't
are
want to do
idiots,
that.
that's
I
why.
don't know why.
Because Warner Brothers are idiots. That's why.
Well, it was Wingard's decision, because Wingard said himself he does not want to make an extended cut of it. That's Wingard's decision. Maybe Warner Brothers doesn't want to do it, but Adam Wingard said himself he doesn't want to do one. I think he said because it's quote-unquote easier to make a longer movie. No, it fucking isn't. Like, sometimes when it comes to longer movies, you could have a lot of filler, and it seems like the longer length for Godzilla vs. Kong would have actually made it better. And this is coming from someone who loves the movie.
Yeah, if you want a longer version of the movie, I recommend the Audible book.
Yeah. But it would have been nice if that stuff was actually in the film.
True.
I mean, what about Sarazawa's son?
Yeah, that would have been a lot better too. You have got to know more
I
Sarazawa's
hated
son,
that.
which had a lot of potential. You would have got to learn more about the other characters. It would have been a so much better movie. And I'm not asking for the stuff with Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla and Kong to be cut down. I want that stuff to stay. I'm asking for a longer movie to give the best of both worlds. You could have had a 10 out of 10 film right there, guys, but no.
Nah, he don't have. When I started really questioning that dude, some of his takes on Godzilla vs. Kong since I heard that.
Yeah, that shit was just fucking depressing.
I read the article this morning. I think I said that earlier, and yeah, that sucks. I even heard Jessica Henwick was going to be in it. And god damn it, I can't remember her name, but she played Michonne in The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Anyway, do you guys have any more hot takes? Because I think I got everything I had off my chest.
No.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Okay, so with that said, that was it for this episode. Please comment your thoughts down below. And if you like this video, please smash that like button, share it around, and subscribe. Please make sure to hit that bell for notifications to keep up to date on all my future content. Also, check out my alt text and social media accounts. Links are in the description below, alongside Anime and Tiku and their pages. Check them out too. And go check out Kaiserzilla, the businesses to Carolee's business. Check out all of that stuff too. This is Gojin, the Makai Phantom, leaving the building.
Bye.